Okay, let's get right into it. If you are applying for an Australian student visa for someone under 18, I need you to listen up. There is one single sentence, kind of hidden in the official guidelines, that can literally make or break your entire application. And today, we're going to put that sentence under a microscope. There it is. Now, don't just brush this off as some generic government speak. This is the key. This one line gives a case officer all the power they need to either approve or deny your application based on their personal judgment. That's how important it is, and you absolutely have to understand what it really means. So, what's really at stake with this sentence? Well, in a word, everything. Let's break this down and demystify it so you can build an application that leaves no room for any doubt. Look, I really have to hammer this point home. This is not a suggestion. It's not a little checkbox you tick off. It's a fundamental hurdle, a total pass or fail test. Think of it like this. Every single document you submit, from where the child will live to who's giving consent, is going to be viewed by the case officer through the lens of that one sentence. Which, of course, leads to the big question. Best interests. I mean, it sounds important, but what does it actually mean when you're filling out visa paperwork? What is the government really looking for? Getting the answer to this right is so critical, because the definition that the case officer is working with, it's probably a whole lot broader and more detailed than you might think. Just notice how wide that definition is. We're not just talking about one thing, like having a safe place to sleep. The government is looking at the whole picture, their physical safety, their emotional well-being, the entire support system that you've planned out for them in Australia. It has to be priority number one, period. And this is where the rubber really meets the road. They're going to dig into the specifics. Is the accommodation genuinely suitable? Is the guardian the right person for the job? Is the parental consent paperwork totally airtight? You just can't be vague here. You need solid, concrete proof for every single one of these points. Now, it's really easy to see this rule as just another barrier, right? Something designed to make your life more difficult. But it really helps to understand why it's there in the first place. Its purpose is all about protection, not obstruction. The Australian government's main goal here is pretty simple. They want to guarantee a safe and supportive environment for any young person coming into the country to study. They are just making sure that the student is going to be properly cared for, and that's a responsibility they take very seriously. And that right there is the key phrase, a duty of care. When a minor gets a student visa, the government sees itself as sharing in the responsibility for that child's well-being. This clause is how they live up to that duty. Okay, so what does all this duty of care stuff mean for the actual documents you're putting together? Let's put your application under the very same microscope that the case officer is going to use. When it comes down to it, your application can go down one of two paths. The first path is unclear. It raises red flags, it creates doubt about the child's welfare. That path can lead to long delays or an outright refusal. The second path is crystal clear. It proactively answers every question and gives the case officer total confidence, and that's the path that leads to an approval. So here's your action plan, a quick mental checklist. First, make this your top priority. It's not just another form, it is the central issue. Second, review everything. Go over all the living arrangements, the support systems, all of it. Third, document everything perfectly. Make your evidence impossible to misunderstand. Your final goal is to prove your case so completely that there are just no questions left for them to ask. All right, let's pull all of this together into one final, super important takeaway. If you only remember one thing from our time together, please make it this. Here it is. It is not the government's job to find reasons to approve your visa. It is your job to give them zero reason to refuse it. The burden of proof is 100% on you. Don't just meet the requirements, you have to proactively prove that the child's welfare is absolutely guaranteed. And so we come right back to where we started. That one sentence, it carries a lot more weight now, doesn't it? Because you know that's the standard. That is the test your entire application will be measured against. So, the last question is for you. As you're looking at your own forms, your letters of support, and all your welfare documents, have you truly proven it, beyond any shadow of a doubt? Your honest answer to that question could be the most important part of this entire visa journey.